This one tomorrow night, what would it mean to you to get your hands on the cup?
Listen, we've got an opportunity to go and play again at Ibrox in the cup final, an Old Firm game as well, so I think everybody's looking forward to it. We don't, you talk about the winning the cup final, we're there, and now it's at that point we absolutely want to go and make sure we obviously get our hands on that, but that's going to come off the back of making sure we perform properly. We know, what level we can reach, but also recognise that if we don't get it right there can be a threat as well, so we've got to make sure we focus first and foremost on performance, and hopefully in the back of that will be enough to get us the result that we need. Much
like the game at Hampden last week, it's just a shame that there's not going to be more people there to witness it, because that's the type of proving ground for these young players.
Absolutely, I think we're talking about trying to build or get over the bridge of becoming an academy player to a first team level, and part of that is the experience of playing in front of fans. There are, I think, we're about 4,000 fans here tomorrow. The last time we played in the game there in the league, I think there was about 6,000-7,000, which is it's great for the players to experience that because it's different. You've got that bit where you feel the support, which is important for the guys to have that. You also feel a little bit of the challenge when the support's not with you as well. But obviously what we've got tomorrow is I think there's a split in the crowd based on the tickets that have been given out. So hopefully the ones that are there with us tomorrow will give us support, and the players will give them something to come and enjoy as well.
How much of a player's journey through the ranks is focused on actually winning silverware? It might only be the Glasgow Cup, and it's easy for people to kind of put it down, but the chance to go and beat Celtic in a cup final, it all counts into a learning process for every youngster.
I think every experience that players get, whether it be you're talking about a cup final, whether it be the challenge of training with the first team or training up levels or playing in different tournaments, etc. I think every experience is important for them. Like I said to you earlier on, I think it's you focus initially on how we get to that point, the performance of the individuals, the team in terms of the style of play that we want to try and go and achieve, and we believe if we get the levels right, you put yourself in a good place to go and do that. But in a cup final, there's every player in that dressing room. They'll feel the nerves because it's a cup final and it's at Ibrox, and you're going to have a decent support there as well from what we have. But we want to go and win, of course we do. But in that place, once you're there, it's important that you go and perform and try and get the result.
You talk about kind of bridging the gap between B team level and first team, and Michael's in here on Friday. He spoke about the difference between youth football and senior football. I mean, what do you think the main differences are, and what if a youth player to get to first team level, what are the kind of main things he's got to work on?
I think there's lots of things. I mean, look at our first team at the level we're at. We've obviously played Champions League this year, played in the European final the season before. So there's a big gap there first and foremost. And you're talking about trying to get technically elite players. They can handle the ball at the speed that the first team players will move at. And the first experience of that tends to be when we go around as a group or as individuals and train with the guys around there, and they feel that. And first team players tend to recognise when the young lads can do it. You feel that, they know that, and they tend to they'll speak about it. And you start to build a noise through that level. So we first of all want to get the technical elite ones because they're the ones that will cope better. Thereafter you're looking at, there's so many different factors, you're looking at mentally how they cope with that environment, because it's a challenge, and it's the ability to go and stay in there as well at the same time. So it's not all, every journey is not exactly the same. Everybody takes a different route. Some will go on loan first, some will stay through the system that we currently have and go straight to the first team and try and fight their way at those points. So it's not a one size fits all for them, but it's the experience of so many different factors that will hopefully build that gap and bridge that gap.
Just in terms of training with the first team, Robbie came in there and spoke about how beneficial it's been to him. I'm sure that's a case for all the players. Was that maybe something that people don't see now outside? One of the benefits of having the B team is the players are around the building more, and they get the opportunity to do that.
I think you're right in that one, because obviously people see the game days, and that's the bit that a lot of sort of conversations come off the back of. It's what happens in game days. But you're right, if we've got 5 training days a week before you even think about a game day, and if a player gets the opportunity to train with the first team in that spell, then he starts to build up that sort of picture of who he is, in every aspect, and the players see it, the manager, the coaches see it, and that's building opinion and building to people sort of his profile of who he's going to be. The game days are great, that's the external bit where people see that, but you're right, you talk about out with the training ground and the walls, then the supporters, and they'll see what the players do on a daily basis and a training basis, either with the B team group or indeed hopefully when they get to the first team group, because that's when they get to that point, they're the ones we start to get a feel for how they're going to be.
There's also been a lot of talk around the B team and the validity of how important it's been compared to reserve football or going out on loan. I mean, how have you found the development of your players this season playing in the Lowland League? I mean, against professionals, not professionals as such, but against adults and things like that?
I think every game's different. I think from our point of view, what we absolutely want is the best programme that will challenge the players to the highest level so we can get them to a first team, because it's not easy. There's no question that it's not easy, and it shouldn't be. You're trying to get into the Rangers first team. Every game's different. As I say, some games have challenged us really well, some games are different. If you look at the programme overall, it isn't just the Lone League. If you look at the UEFA Youth League, which we experienced this year with some top games, we've put in some good friendly games along the way with the Trust Cup as well and different programmes. I don't think we'll just focus on that one aspect of it. We'll look at each individual game, and some challenges have been much different than others. But we'll also look at the whole programme across the season and try and work out which ones have been the most beneficial for the individual development, for sure.
In terms of the Conference League, David, why are Rangers fans of that, and what do you think that can bring that the current setup doesn't bring?
Like I said to you, I think it's just about trying to... We want our players to be challenged at the best level. That's always going to be a driver, because ultimately every individual that sits on a programme, we have a responsibility to try and develop them. That's our challenge as coaches with the development team, the B team, the 18s, etc. It's about trying to get the best individual programme. Now, whichever games programme that ends up being, as long as it's the one that allows our players to be challenged the most often, sometimes struggle. Because sometimes part of being in that environment where you've got to see stressful moments, and obviously games where you may be really dominant, and it's a bit different. So all we're driven by is making sure that our players get the best individual and team programme so they develop and be given the best chance to come and be part of the manager squad.